Sorry about that. I thought it was the delivery people calling me, but they didn't answer. So, oh well, so sorry. Next, he turned his observation to the growth of the banyan tree. I want to buy a banyan tree. I don't know if it will grow in this soil here in south central Texas, but I want a banyan tree. Hopefully I can one time see, in my life see a big banyan tree. Trees like the sequoia, yes. I learned about the sequoia when I was 7. I wanted to see them my whole life, and I finally got to see them last year, and I cried, and I was hugging them like, the sequoias. So there's certainly, like, there's a pull to certain things in nature that God has made for us, and the sequoia trees, it's one, it's a pull that I've had my whole life, basically, and so glad that I got to see them. But now I have a new pull to the banyan tree. I didn't know anything about the banyan tree until maybe 2 years ago, a year or two ago. So very cool. So I'm going to try to grow my own little banyan tree. It'll be little and small, and it won't be 1,000 years old, but it'll still be cool. And I wonder if they even sell sequoia trees, or they just let them grow where they are. Anyway, so sorry. Trees like the sequoia and the banyan tree. I'm here on this other one. Okay, so sorry. Next, he turned his observation to the growth of the banyan tree. Trees like the sequoia and the banyan tree grow to be thousands of years old. Lo and behold, the small quantities of energy that exist in the banyan trees also exist within the human body. In the midst of this remarkable study, surrounded by the forces of nature, opening to profound insights through careful observation, Bhaganathar began to understand the physical world and the physical body's place in it. It all finally started to make sense to him. And as his insights into the physical realm grew, he also began to understand why the masters he had lived and trained with for so many years in India were not keyed into this understanding. As wise as they were, they had not challenged the traditional teachings they practiced. They had not stopped to question the traditional knowledge in the way that he had challenged it. In that process of questioning and pursuing a deeper understanding of life on this planet, he came to a profound insight, both about the human body and about nature. Nature is God's playground. He came to understand, even in the midst of the age he was living at that time, now over 3,000 years ago, that any individual, family, tribe, or nation that chooses to ignore or disconnect from the forces of nature will fall prey to errors in thought and action. In our contemporary world, this is perhaps best described by the phrase serpentine consciousness. Serpentine consciousness is a phrase coined by a great yoga master in California by the name of Leonard Orr. If you look within the reptile kingdom, you can observe two characteristics in many snake species that apply to the phrase serpentine consciousness. First, the heads of many snakes form a point, almost like an arrowhead shape. And second, many snakes literally do not have the ability to back up. Their muscles only allow them to move forward. So if they are unfortunate enough to bury their heads in a corner, they often perceive no way out. They are stuck. Interesting. So, when humans become so attached to a single way of thinking that they force themselves into a corner, when they drive themselves along one thought pattern until they see no way of making a change, no way of taking another path, they suffer from serpentine consciousness. So, I'm happy that I question things, and I still want to know more, and I want to know the truth, and I want to know God in the way that He intended us to live on this earth. Thank you. I love you. Bye.